Hey everyone, just wanted to come on here real fast and talk about everything that's gone on in the last 2 weeks having to do with Truthy Magoo and Will from The Glarer. Before I get started, I needed to say this though. In the last week or so, I have made 2 lighthearted and fun videos, and everybody enjoyed them, even people I don't agree with, which that makes me happy. However, this video is not going to be one of those lighthearted type of videos, and that's why I'm kind of giving a trigger warning right here. I'm going to be discussing some serious subjects in this video. Let me start by giving a brief summary of events that have happened over the last few weeks regarding Will and Truthy. It all started December 5th, 2020, when Will from The Glare had a live stream, and a lady came up and she spoke on Truthy possibly having a criminal history regarding crimes against minors.
That's when they had to go.
Okay, what is your point?
My point is, I think it's worth discussing that if these creators have felonies that involve minors, that they should not
These creators don't have felonies involving minors, and what you're doing is talking mad shit. So I happen to know for a fact that and you better come with receipts. You make some sort of accusation about other creators like that. See what I just did? I just laid out a bunch of receipts on Kay. That's what I did just now. All right.
Okay.
So you are not about to talk about any fellow creators.
Okay.
Or even rival creators, and saying that on my panel, and making those type of accusations. No, I'm not going to calm down, and I'm booting you off. That is some fucking bullshit right there.
Hey, speaking of Kay, let's move on. That was actually
your fucking drunk ass out of here. Fuck off. Unbelievable. You're not going to fucking... No, man. You're not going to talk about my man Truthy like that. Hell no. You ain't going to talk about my man Truthy like that. The hell?
You didn't hear much about the alleged criminal charges against Truthy again until about mid-December. And it's kind of hard for me to pinpoint a date because 2 of the channels that were addressing it are now deleted, and any live stream that Will did in response to those 2 channels where he had Truthy address these charges himself are now private. I'm not sure why Will privated those live streams because he still has a lot of live streams up about Truthy regarding these charges. However, back to the channel that was deleted. One of the channels that was deleted obtained a court document and read it off. They never showed the documentation, but they read it off. So they read off the court document on a live stream in mid-December, and then come December 28th, there was an announcement posted to Truthy Magoo's community tab by Mrs. Magoo, allegedly, that Truthy had passed away. He was no longer with us. On December 29th, there were 2 videos leaked from a private chat of Critical K's where she was speaking with local law enforcement from Truthy's area on the phone and basically kind of explaining the situation that happened and how she was being, in fact, blamed for his alleged suicide. The ladies with the deleted channels were also being blamed for this alleged suicide. Whether you love or hate Kay and these ladies with the deleted channels, it doesn't matter. Blaming them for an alleged suicide was completely unfair, vile, and inappropriate. Anyway, so on December 29th, on that same channel, a part 2 video was posted of another phone call that Kay was having with the local law enforcement in Truthy's area, that they basically went out to Truthy's house and everything checked out okay. They couldn't point blank tell her that they talked to him. They told her that she could check with the local coroner and, ask if he was there, but they couldn't disclose if they had talked to him or not. However, they could say that everything looked fine on his end. Later that evening, I believe both of the deleted channels went live regarding the leaked phone calls. However, I cannot, go back and reference and tell you for sure because those channels are gone, obviously. However, Will then started a live stream addressing Kay's calls and also addressing these quote-unquote trash channels. Then on December 30th, Critical K has a live stream addressing people accusing her of being responsible for Truthy's alleged suicide. Then later that night, Will has a live stream in response to Kay's live stream, basically talking about the fact that he's suspicious too. He thinks Truthy might be alive as well, but in the same breath pretty much shames anybody that has suspicions also. Then on January 1st, 2021, it is announced that one of the deleted channels is going to have an interview with one of Truthy's ex-girlfriends. Then Will has a short live stream in response to that, basically saying like what links are these people going to go to and when's it ever going to stop. Then January 8th, Will has a live stream with a subscriber of his named Bridget, who had at one time been good friends with Truthy and Mrs. Magoo, and I guess that they had helped her start a GoFundMe. She has some health issues and needed some help with some medical costs. In this live stream, Truthy and Mrs. Magoo are accused of some shady behavior regarding the GoFundMe. While this live stream's going on, Annie decides to start a new GoFundMe for Bridget, and they set the goal at, I believe it was $5,000, and they almost met their goal. However, I feel like this is relevant to the conversation. Just yesterday, Annie made an announcement that she took that GoFundMe down and is refunding everybody because she caught Bridget in a few lies. Then come January 9th, Truthy is resurrected. Will had a live stream and had Truthy and Mrs. Magoo as guests, and they were supposed to take accountability for faking this suicide, and they really, at the end of the day, didn't take any accountability, and even admitted that the only reason why they came on Will's live stream and admitted they lied was to clear their name of any shady doing regarding the GoFundMe. Then come January 13th. Critical K has a live stream addressing and showing the paperwork that was addressed way back in mid-December. The ladies in mid-December had went over the paperwork and read it off, but they never showed the actual paperwork. Critical K actually showed the paperwork. Then January 15th, Will has a live stream in response to Kay's live stream where she exposed Truthy's paperwork regarding the charges of SA against a minor. That live stream is basically what inspired me to do this video. In this live stream, Will's addressing Truthy's charges and the nature of them, and basically, in my opinion, dismissing them. To him, it's not that big of a deal because it was 20 years ago and Truthy was young. He made some bad decisions. Let me play you a clip.
Question.
Okay.
So let's say you're dating someone, you're a female, and you're dating a man, and you decide to listen to Scott Reich and do that little background check. And you see that 20 years ago, there were charges such as the ones that have been revealed wrongfully so, but still revealed. You think that woman should say, fuck it was 20 years ago if she's got a daughter the same age? Like, what's your real opinion on that?
It's not a question of how I feel about what happened. It's the point that it was 20 years ago, and what does that have to do with what's going on today? That's got nothing to do with anything.
But you didn't answer my question. If a mother looks up at somebody's record that she's dating and they see a charge like that from 20 years ago, should she just assume of good faith that he no longer does that?
And that's between the mother, the daughter, the boyfriend. I mean, that ain't got nothing to do with me.
Should she err on the side of date the motherfucker?
I don't know.
I didn't say I did. I'm asking you a very general question. Like, would you...
I just saying I don't know. I honestly don't know how to answer that.
That you have to have standards, I guess.
I can't. Yeah, you keep coming in and out.
And you have to live your life according to certain principles and morals, and there should be a line, like at the curb, things that are above it and things that are below it that belong in the gutter.
Well, but
and I think that's the disconnect. That's what people are upset about. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not even necessarily...
So whenever somebody has something like that they did 20 years ago, they should just come out and say it and be upfront about it right off the bat without, you know what I'm saying? Or, I mean, no. Why should they have to do that? So it's just as wrong to dig that up. It's just as wrong to dig that up on them, man. And judge them for it.
I'm not disagreeing with that, but there's a few circumstances where, yes, being upfront and honest would serve a good purpose, such as if you're dating someone with young children or...
Make no mistake here. I'm not defending Truthy.
Advocate for SA, then that's when you should be honest.
I'm not defending Truthy here. I'm defending the truth. That's my point. I'm defending the truth. Like, 20 years ago, it's not something that anyone has a right to judge anyone on. You know, you just don't. Because because everybody here admits that they're nowhere near the person they were 20 years ago.
Yeah, but that's different when it comes to certain crimes, man. It's not like he got drunk and wrecked his car and accidentally killed someone.
I get the crime, but he was also very young, and it was not that it was, I mean, I'm not justifying the act. What I'm saying is that he was still very young. You know, maybe over the legal age, but he was still very young in an age where he was going to make irresponsible decisions. As a parent, you asked me how as a parent I would look at that. That's how I would at least try to look at it. You know, this is somebody who was very young, and that is the age where you make bad decisions. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a fair thing. Now, can you judge his character by the fact that he was dishonest? Absolutely. Can you judge his character by the fact that he didn't give a fuck what anybody fucking felt? Sure, absolutely.
I'm pretty sure Will would feel differently if, say, Critical K or anybody else that, you know, supports Critical K or supports the ladies with the deleted channels, or even people that support me, if anyone in that group of people had charges such as these, we'd never hear the end of it. And somebody in his chat even asked him this question, and look how he answered it.
Hold on. Let me read this comment. I'm just curious without being rude. So you wouldn't say anything had you found out someone on the flip side was involved in the SL case, but on her mom's side had a past that was the same? I mean, the thing is I don't have to. What have I been saying this whole time? I don't have to. To answer that question, I've been saying it this whole time. Like, these are not credible people. Like, think about it. Anything that anybody comes up on me, this is fact. Anything anybody comes up on me as being anything shitty is going to be doxing me and coming up with shit from way my past. You know, I mean, I'm up here, I'm not saying that I'm an angel, you know? I'm saying I have principles.
So Will considers looking into somebody's criminal history and putting it out online doxing, right? He just said that. You heard that, right?
So yeah, this is very similar to where I live's website. Jacob,
right.
Public information, no doxing.
Absolutely. So here's Mr.
Now, he's supposed to be hot. Okay.
He's hot.
Yeah. So that's him. That's
all right. Yeah. So we got this douchebag, this fucking guy that wants, you know, people to do blow off. I'm not even gonna say it again because I feel bad that I even got that filthy on here.
You mean filthy like that one time you went over to Truthy's live stream and you guys were exchanging stories about drunken times you'd had in your past with hooking up with women, and you had Stand With Sophie hashtagged in the title?
So, like, yeah, I burned her the fuck down. Like, yeah, it was great sex. And that's disturbing. It is disturbing. It is. But when I remember I was like, fuck, this is horrible. You know, this is fucking terrible. I hate this person. That's hate sex at that point. So after she disclosed to me that she was a racist, I was like, do you realize that you just had sex with someone who's half Dominican? And she didn't even know what that meant. She didn't even know what that meant. Oh, she's just dumb all the way around. Right. She was completely ignorant. And she didn't even know what that meant. And I was like, yeah. I'm pretty much half black. You just had a big fucking black dick. white. That happens to be white. You had a big black dick in you that just happens to be white, and you came all over it. Oh, you dirty. So many times. So many. I was like, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about that? And she fucking started crying. Why? Because she's a fucking racist, dude. That is awesome, actually. It is fucking awesome. She started crying. She started, oh my God, I can't believe this. And I was sitting there going, holy shit, are you really this racist?
What a classy guy. I mean, really, what a class act. Definitely somebody with standards and principles. I digress. I have kind of went off the subject here. I mean, kind of, but not really. It's still kind of relevant to my point. Let's go back to talking about credibility and proof and facts and receipts. When Will was asked if, somebody from the other side had these same type of charges, which they are charges, I'm not sure what Truthy's exact convictions were. However, we do know there was convictions because Truthy admitted to having probation and community service, which means that it wasn't just dismissed or thrown out of court. There were actual convictions that he pled down to. I'm just not sure what they are. When someone asked that question, he basically didn't answer it. He just said, he doesn't have to answer it because that side has no credibility. All the while, he's sitting next to people that, start up fraudulent GoFundMes and fake their death. And he has a really warped idea of facts and proof and receipts, like I said earlier in this video. A good example of this was those screenshots of those alleged conversations between Kelly and some lady, and then screenshots of an alleged conversation between Mr. Jake and some lady that he was allegedly cheating on Kelly with. And in the conversation, Mr. Jake was talking about doing drugs off this woman's, body and whatnot. Anyways, not once did he show a screen recording of the woman showing her Instagram account or showing Mr. Jake's Instagram account and, pushing on the DM icon and showing that those were actually the DMs. No, they were just screenshots that could have been easily made by making fake accounts. He literally calls this evidence and facts, though.
They're lies. They're just lies. And I can counter all of it. I just right here proved that Jake is a cokehead. I just proved it. I went right through the pictures.
Yeah, but I don't think that's the important part. I think the important part is what you said after.
No. That's just an example. Is my point. That's just an example. So every little thing, she could sit there and squawk and blow her fart whistle all she wants, but she's not gonna. But the thing is it's not gonna make any more sense the more she does it, because every time she does, I'm gonna come up here with facts to counter her claims. Facts to counter her claims, and I'm gonna keep coming. I'm going to keep on coming. Every time she goes live with bullshit, I have an arsenal of facts that counter it, which is what I just did for 4 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep coming. I'm not playing, dude. I'm not playing. No. And Annie's going to keep doing it too. And the stuff that Annie is too classy to point out, the stuff that may or may not compromise the integrity of her channel, I don't mind getting my boots a little dirty. I don't mind. I'll take that. I'm happy to do it.
This is not the first time that Will has come off of the wall with some bullshit and called it facts. I just want to say this in closing my video out. The reason why Will and his friends don't want to speak about Truthy anymore is because they're embarrassed. They're embarrassed about his disgusting charges. They're embarrassed that he faked his death. They keep saying that, oh, what more can you do to this man? What more can you say? They dismiss his charges, or at least Will does. They don't want to talk about him because they're embarrassed. If it was one of us, if it was one of the people that support Kelly, you'd never hear the end of it. I get it. All creators make mistakes on their platform, but Will seems to continually be one of the biggest hypocrites I have ever found on this platform. Exposing Truthy's charges is doxing when someone else does it. However, when he has Mr. Jake's criminal record and he's showing it, it's not doxing, it's public information. He can address Truthy whenever he wants to. However, when another channel does it, they're a quote-unquote trash channel. And there was something else I forgot to bring up, was Truthy's ex. After Truthy's ex did her interview, Will discredits that woman any chance he gets. Except for, of course, when something she is saying fits his narrative or his agenda, then you better believe he will use whatever she said as a reference. Will should probably be more mindful of what he speaks on now that he's calling himself a public figure.
I put myself out here in that sense, right? I started a YouTube channel. I became somewhat of a public figure, more or less.
Well, I think that about wraps that up. Y'all heard it here. Will is somewhat of a public figure, not afraid to get his boots dirty. Him and Annie Banani are going to keep coming with the proof and the facts. It's a thankless job, but somebody's got to do it. Link in bio.